I felt like a Spanish, like a Puerto Rican in this hair.
Man, what's going on tonight? The sound of a cold beer.
Yes, sir.
Tonight, hey, we're a little early on our recording this week, hitting up some Friday night vibes this week.
Yeah, man. Trying to get ahead of the curve, so to speak.
Oh, tell you what, it's been a hell of a week for me, dude.
Likewise. But now it's over, and we get to pretend for 2 days that we don't have responsibilities. Oh, man. Salute.
Salute, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Little Buffalo Trace. You know Buffalo Trace is underwater right now?
For real? What do you mean?
Yeah, that rain that went into Kentucky this past week.
It swamped them?
Yep.
America's oldest whiskey. Around during the Prohibition.
You know, I've been traveling up through Kentucky. I didn't get a chance through work to stop and go visit, and I'm kind of upset with myself I didn't go. Mm-hmm. Little kicking myself in the tail.
You know how they survived Prohibition, right? It was sold as medicine. The government gave them a pass.
It is a medicine. It's a good medicine.
Yeah.
So, man, tonight episode is episode 10. Man,
we're in the double digits now.
10. I'm actually proud that we've had the discipline to continue. 2 or 3 episodes, when you start getting into this stuff, it's like, oh yeah, you got 1 or 2 episodes in, you got to 3.
Yeah.
We're into 10. You know, we're doing average about an hour, a little over an hour episode, man. That's a little over 10 hours, 10, 12 hours of content, maybe 14 hours of content.
We got a good long day in it.
We've had some good followers so far. I've seen some consistency in the data, so I just want to say thank you to those who've been
for sure
tracking on with it.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like I would say we're struggling for content by no means. I feel like it just kind of comes. Hey, we're like 20 minutes before we get it in here. It's like, what are we talking about tonight?
Yeah,
we put it together. You know,
it works out.
So,
I think so.
So
I've never been a planner.
Nope, I'm a last minute, just run it.
Yeah.
So hey, tonight we're going to talk about the dadship, dad friendships.
Okay.
Kind of digging into that a little bit. Go rookie to real ones. How we mature as a father. You know, we all start off as rookie dads, and you know we come up somewhere, right? And then the comparison trap. How there's so much social media. There's so much you see about what other people look like and what you think is a dad, and trying to compare it to that. So that's tonight's episode. We're gonna run through, and we're gonna start with some dadships, man.
Yeah, man. And dad-to-dad friendships matter more than we thought. Would you agree? I mean, have you realized that?
It is. It's important. I've got non-dad friends. You know,
Same.
Great people, good guys.
Same.
But you know, there's
what'd you do this weekend's different on Monday?
And, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have things that are very similar. That you share, there's a bond you share as a dad that you can't share with those that are not a dad, and it's not that it's a bad thing.
No, you just can't relate to it until you've been through it.
Right? It's like, you know, I can talk to a guy that drag races. Oh, it sounds
Sure.
like, I've watched it on TV. The engines sound cool, but if you've never sat in the cockpit of a car, there's just something you can't compare to.
Yeah.
You know, if you never played a sport, it's really tough to talk about it.
Yeah,
just
the
because you watch it.
butterfly feeling type the deals. Yeah, you're not gonna know the pressure of it until you've been in it.
Right, but you know, you can't enjoy. You know, sports aren't what it is without the people there to watch it, right? The spectators make a lot of that.
Yeah.
So
and you get a lot of those early bloomers who, they're pregnant and expecting and stuff, and then they're trying to relate to you, but you're done, you know, almost a decade into it, and you're like, hey, it gets worse. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, and I've got some there's some people that I'm close to that they've wanted to be a dad.
Yeah,
you know, that was a dream of theirs that just it may not been the deck of cards that God dealt them, and I feel bad because that's something one experience.
Yeah,
and then they, along with me, see families or women or men that have the opportunity to be a parent and they don't.
Yeah, they squander it.
Yeah, they not, you know, some kids need to be given away. Like, hey, they're not fit to parent.
Yeah,
and it just pisses you off that like that person can have a kid, but you couldn't.
Yeah, I'm actually fairly close with a person I know who is going through the whole what's it called when they artificially do it? IVF stuff,
something like that.
Whatever,
yeah.
you know, struggle,
artificial insemination,
and they're going to be such good parents, man. I already know they are.
You don't realize the money those families try to put into that too, with no guarantee.
And it all comes down to, I think you're just human. You're an animal. You're not. You got one job is to repopulate. You know what I mean? As an
we're
animal,
animals.
that's it.
That's
man.
our job. And when you fail,
Keep
at the thing
breathing so you can keep breeding, and that's the two things you're supposed to do as an animal on this earth. All animals do it. So
that
to not be able to must be a trip.
I've never really put the perspective of saying like as a species you have a purpose, and to not be able to
that's it.
To not be able to perform that function of a species has got to be like depressing in a way. And man, I feel like I'm not trying to throw that on somebody or to cut that down.
Yeah.
But I have never really put as much like.
I can physically see the that pressure that you're talking about, which I cannot relate to, but on the person, I can only imagine. I can see it on them on a daily basis. Is that weight that maybe I don't know. I kind of think that maybe they're thinking they got not woe is me, but it's like why me? I'm doing all these good things, and they live their life right, a hell of a lot better than I do.
Up, but like why can't we?
Why tough. Me? So yeah, no, I gotta sympathize with them. But
sympathy will go out to those dads and moms that want to be or the wannabe dads and wannabe moms that would love to give anything.
Yeah, and going back to the dad-to-dad friendship thing or whatever is that dad to not dad friendship might be important to those types of people. You know what I mean? Is and this person I'm speaking on, she gets a lot of anyway, she gets a lot of her that void filled through her friends' children's and stuff, babysitting, hanging out and stuff, loving on them and whatnot.
They make great like
it's a little coping.
It's like I'll call him uncle. It's like, hey, this is Uncle so and so, right? Yeah. And he does. They take care of him. Like they show the same love and compassion you would expect. Yeah. And it's and like I've got people that are like that in my life who I think are closer to my kids, even though they're not around much. But they know more about my kids and my kids' life than like family does.
Sure. Yeah. So, and then plus two is they can get all the perks of the children without all the bullshit of the children. But
there's some jealousy there on my end too, man. Like it's as much as I love them, I love to have a break from them. And
no doubt.
It's almost impossible to get a break sometimes. Yeah.
So that being said, it's like checking in and venting and goofing off and whatnot. I feel like that's kind of more or less our relationship. We're always, kind of hanging out and chilling and bullshitting about each other's weeks and whatnot. So that being said, how important is our relationship in your life? And I can answer that as well. But
I say it's a huge. I think having you or having that person that it's like someone you can unwind to and relate. Yeah. It goes a long way in both your like mental mindset of like. I'm not going to slap my kid because I can.
Sure,
we can debrief about it, and then you learn things that at work. Like you're not going to. There's a lot of things you can't talk about at work that you can come home and talk and can share with you. Yeah. That helps make you realize that okay, I'm not alone in those. I'm not alone in those struggles. So like it grounds you in a way to say, hey, having that relationship allows you to be grounded, appreciated. And have some accountability both in your own life and for somebody else,
and a little bit less pressure too. I think we've mentioned when you bailed us out, and I was a couple hours away from home or something, and Kendall had the flat tire. It's just knowing that you got somebody. You might be off at 3 and I might not get home till 7, but hey, man, that was a relief to know that my old lady and kids wasn't sitting on the side of the road with a flat tire. You got them home. Appreciate that.
Definitely. There's only a handful of people I could probably count on one hand that if I say, hey, I need somebody. Like that I got you, man. Like bond.
Yeah, no, it's important, man. It really
I've got a ton of friends, but if I said, hey, I need some help.
And not to mention, it takes a village. That saying didn't come out of nowhere. What's going to happen when our boys start running the road and you see mine at the gas station acting a fool?
Hey, Chris, man, I'll tell you something.
Yeah, well, you don't tell me. You tell me after you whoop his ass. You know what I mean? Take his keys and make his ass walk home, whatever. So just having those people that is in your back pocket's a bad example, but that was what was coming to mind. But on your side, it's a stress reliever.
Yeah, it's kind of going back to the purpose of being here as a species. We're not a species made to be solo.
No, dude, we are a very social creature.
And so to not have a that male companionship and bonding, it's more than just a beer, like a beer buddy. You know what I mean, like a drinking buddy.
Yep.
I've had a few drinking buddies, and I've had some people that you'd call friends that you learn that they're not your friends, and you have people who, that you least expect would be the ones that'll be there for you.
Yeah.
It's interesting how that can work.
Man, it's crazy how much it changes over time too. Example, well, if my boy wouldn't have decided to play football one year, I never would have known you.
We would have been sitting next to each other at the fence.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's just, no tellings.
And there's nothing like this is one of those, man, it's like we're going to crawl under the table and give each other blowjobs for the end of the night.
You better
we're not.
You better not.
But it's one of those that, when you think about those type of now I've got to get that.
Everybody needs a boy, man.
You do.
Yeah. Everybody needs a dude and a bro to just call on whenever times are hard. And when them kids are pushing on your last nerves and shit, it's nice to have somebody to. Yeah. I don't have any question or any disbelief that I could just show up here and be like, hey, needed a minute. What's up?
I might put you to work. Like, grab that weed eater.
Yeah, whatever, man. Let's go. Speaking of weed eating, I did manage to get my yard weed eated this weekend.
Right.
Yeah, I
big accomplishment. The first, it's part of that first mow. I haven't weeded my yard yet, and it's like I went and started pulling the weeds out instead.
My neighbor asked me to mow my yard because my lawnmower's still on the fritz. It's kind of like mixed emotions. It hurt my ego because she's, sweet little old lady.
Retired old lady's over here trying to take care of you.
She's not retired either, and that's even makes it worse. So, but, I'm like, yeah, I'll go get you a bottle of water. I appreciate it. Hopefully I can find this part soon.
Right.
Who knows? But, we got that done. But, let's say, rookie to real ones, maturing as a father. So I can relate hard to that one.
And it's hard to think when you look back at what's your rookie year as a dad look like, When you think about those emotions of
23,
becoming
24,
a dad.
something like that.
So our situation kind of pans a little different because I've got my aspect, it's like I had a couple years of trying to become a dad, right? So I was almost,
Did y'all have to try hard?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The medicine that worked for us was actually a breast cancer medicine. It does something with the hormones that helped make it work.
Yeah.
And it took, like I said, 3 years almost to be able to make it happen.
No shit. For real? See, I didn't know that.
So, and then after the first one, we had a miscarriage.
Didn't know that either.
Now, just to throw this out there.
Yeah.
Here's the man's side of how you view this, and my wife's probably gonna be pissed at me after this one, but
just tread carefully,
right? I mean, we've talked. This is not anything we've not talked about, but when women get pregnant, there's an emotional bond that's created instantly.
Yep.
Just seeing the two pink lines.
Yeah, and God made them that way.
Creates this, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm more of like a science and anatomy. I look at how
men
the body
work
works.
on logic.
Well. So with logic in mind here, it's like, okay, we were pregnant and we go and to hear the heartbeat for the first time. We're weeks into this, we're already starting to plan, right? So there's that I talk about emotions, expectations. Our expectations, we're having a baby. We get into it, and that first appointment to hear the heartbeat, you can see the embryo or like where the embryo should be.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there. And it's a false pregnancy. Her body went into this mode of being pregnant, but there was no egg there. There was no cells that were, and it wasn't that anything happened.
Sure.
It just happens that way sometimes. And it's like
women's reproductive system's strange enough.
So it's like, okay, she's got to basically go through like an abortion, like DNC type thing to get, to take care of that. And that hit her emotionally. Well, I'm like, well, there's not a baby there. There was no life there. Right. I never lost a kid. I lost the idea of a kid. Right.
Yeah.
So I lost something that was not tangible,
and that might be a coping mechanism that you just kind of built up to.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't
because at some point you did have a bond. You had some excitement because it's something you've been working towards, and that might have just been your way of like, yeah, okay, shut that shit down.
Right. So I already had a 1 or 2 year old, a little over one, probably a year old at the time. So it's like it's not that I didn't have a kid. So it wasn't like that complete loss.
Sure.
But it was kind of heartbreaking to know that, man, that opportunity, that expectation.
And then
It's
not
not
to
there.
mention is like your understanding of your wife's emotions too is like, okay, women are different a
Right.
little bit.
Well, see, here's where I messed up, and take this as some advice time, right? So she had to go have that DNC, I think it's called. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to work.
Oh, you piece of shit, Cody.
And your mom can go with you, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, she relies on her mom emotionally a lot of times for that type of stuff. So it's like, you know, having her mom there, okay, when you're not feeling good, your mom's like the best one to be with you, not me. And you
That's
know,
a good way to justify
emotionally,
that.
in my head,
yeah.
you know. So I go and I'm with her up until the time she needs me the most.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah, you fucked up on that one.
I did, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you know, because you asked the question as a guy, you're like, you know, here's another piece of advice for some of those guys out there. Hey, what, you know, you ask the wife, is this okay? Sure. That's probably what the answer. I don't remember what it was, but I'm sure that was what she's in her head. It was like, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
But as a dad, you got to be like, okay, no, she's not. She needs you.
Yeah.
And so I really
and
fucked up
what
there.
it really boils down to is fuck your feelings because you're a dude.
Right. Well, and
as much as it's kind of become popular to be like, oh well, men have a voice too. No, you don't.
Like I'm over it, but she's got a lot to process.
Sure, yeah, and that's where I'm getting at with that is it's like, hey man, just you know, you are a dude. That is your job is to suck it up right now. Help them through it because they are emotional creatures. So yeah.
So that's where I really messed up in my rookie year.
Yeah. No, that was a big fuck up, Cody.
But it took us a couple of years. You know, that's why there's a gap there between my oldest and youngest. It took a little bit to make it happen again.
Yeah.
So
I don't necessarily know what my biggest failure was. Lord knows I've probably got a few of them. I'd probably say that time I ruined Christmas with Jaden. That was probably my biggest little fuck up. Boy, I ruined Christmas. Yeah, you told your story. I'll tell mine. So Christmas morning, cold. Very, very cold. And I had fought tooth and nail to get him a BB gun that year. And what I mean by fight tooth and nail is grandparents, mainly on Kendall's side, and even Kendall at one point, and probably a couple other was he's too young for the Christmas story. You're too young, you'll shoot your eye out.
How old did you say he was again?
I didn't. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Like
I got a shit memory. 5, 6, 6. Probably.
Okay. Big enough to pull a trigger.
Yeah. About time. Anyway, so fought tooth and nail. He got a BB gun. Long story short, there's paper all over the floor and whatnot. We're cleaning up, and I'm already dressed to go outside. And Jaden's only task that he's been given is to pick the paper up in the living room, and me and him's gonna go shoot this BB gun. And dude, I was pumped. That was like my, because every Christmas you got the one present that you influenced,
and you're excited
and you're like,
for
that's the fucking one. It's like screw all the other shit that we spent thousands of dollars on. That's the one. So anyway, it always comes down to this: is there's one piece of paper left. Mom says, "You got to pick up the paper," and he's like, typical kid. What paper?
Right. I don't see it.
Yeah, right there. And then it rocks on. She scolds him a little bit. He smiles at her because he was going through this phase where he was like, fuck you, Mom, and grinning and like rolling his eyes and stuff.
Pushing the limits, yeah.
Big time. So my stance on it is if you cannot respect your mother, you can't respect a gun. You're not ready. I was wrong. I shouldn't have got you this. It was my bad. We're just going to get rid of the gun. So, anywho. Long story short is I go outside by a tree in our yard and I'm like, come on outside, son. I said, we're going to break this and get it over with. You ain't got a BB gun for Christmas. And I was just going to make a point on it and be done with it. So it rocks on, and then Kendall's like, you're not going to break it, just put it up and ground him. I'm like, grounding him defeats the purpose because he knows he's going to get it back. If it's destroyed, there's nothing to get back, And it rocks on. So we end up breaking the BB gun just to cut it off short.
Like you're taking it to a tree. And,
yeah, well,
man.
So you probably can't see it too good anymore, but karma ended up biting me in the ass pretty quick. And as I say my spiel and I break the BB gun, the sight of the BB gun was in my left hand.
Ooh, so
and
dug in deep.
I didn't notice it. So I break the BB gun and I'm just giving my spiel and I'm shaking a finger and this and that. And the whole time Kendall's like, Christopher, as I'm just on my soapbox giving Jaden the business, and saying my piece and whatever. She was trying to tell me that I was throwing blood everywhere. It's just, in the moment or whatever, I didn't realize it, but I am gushing blood everywhere. It's just throwing it around and whatnot. So yeah, that's how I ruined Christmas.
See, that's where you need those dadships, because if you had a mature dadship like me, I would have been like, dude, sit your ass down.
It wasn't a complete loss. He does not smile at his mother when she is disciplining him anymore.
You planted a tree. You planted a seed, and that tree has grown.
The point was proven, whether it be by the vast amounts of blood I lost or the breaking of the BB gun. But no.
But it's one of those that makes you feel like shit, right?
Oh, I felt terrible.
Like
man.
now there's you've had a Christmas since then,
Christmas
right?
up. Oh yeah.
So it was kind of one of those, the paper get made up, or is it one of those you have presents without Christmas wrapping on it now?
No, it's still the same old one. I just kind of, I think everybody except for, it's probably just one of those untalked about Christmas moments. Everybody remember. Yeah. I would love to say everybody forgot it, but nobody
you're going to be
did.
sitting around you're years down the road, you're going to have a beer together, and he'd be like, Dad, I got you a present.
It's going to be a little Red Ryder.
He's going to get you something.
And he's going to break that shit.
And he's going to fucking break it.
Yeah.
He's going to get you so excited
as long as there's a real good point to prove during, then I guess it'll be okay.
Well,
we lost a Christmas, but we learned something.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here's my psychological analysis on it, and I just said this earlier. Your expectation didn't get met, and it was super high.
No, all you had to do was pick up the damn paper, son.
But exactly.
Yeah.
But your expectation was, man, we're gonna go shoot this BB gun, and we're gonna have fun doing it.
Yeah. Dad's gonna be the shit because he got me a BB gun.
And then it's like, well, he's not
wrong.
listening. Yeah, he's not listening. We're about to make a point out of this, and it just fueled anger that you didn't realize you had.
Yeah, probably.
So trying to be like those hardcore, like my kid's always going to say, yes, sir. My kid hates saying it. I can't get my boy to say, yes, sir. And it aggravates the stew out of me.
Mine will to everybody but me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mine's probably the same way.
I guess you take what you can get.
Man. But I think I've learned a lot with how to be calm. Like I know like around the first, and I feel like it's a teamwork thing where like, my wife, like we'll go to Dick's the other weekend, and it's like she's my little one's running around, like there's a track that you can, like where the shoe section is, it looks like it's a running track. Yeah. My kids love to run around that. I'm like, they're fucking kids. Yeah. Running around in circles. They could be putting shit in their pocket and walking out the door, but instead they're just having fun.
I'll tell you something I'm starting to accept that I hate. It's being in a restaurant and my kids were running fucking off the walls.
Bouncing off, running the aisles.
I hate it still, but I don't fight it like I used to. At some point, I'm like, you know what, lady? If you didn't want a fucking kid running around your feet, then you should have cooked your fucking chicken wings at home. You know what? I can't control him. If you can, fucking do it. Right. As I welcome anybody to sit his little ass down.
Well, I see. It's like I've learned, like Ashley will be getting frustrated with them, and it's like I'm the calm one. And it's like we take turns. It's like, and then some days I'm the one that's being like, y'all getting on my fucking nerves.
Yeah. It's like, would y'all please sit the fuck down for a minute?
And Ashley's being the calm one.
Yeah, it is a balance, man. This will lead us into the next topic here in a minute. But you know what pisses me off is seeing the reels and the stuff. It's like when we come home and I've only got 60% to give. I tell my partner, and they match the other. The fuck? I don't believe it for a second.
I don't know. And you learn to have a balance. I think that's one thing I've learned to be more calm. The second kid around, like the first one, I think I was a little bit more stressed.
Knox calmed me down a lot, dude. I don't know why. Maybe age and just I don't know, general life, but something has happened in the past year, 2 years leading up, where I'm just really not giving a shit about a lot of things. And I don't know if it's like just getting numb to it or what it is, but it's like, man, there's something, you got to pick and choose your battles.
Yep.
There's some shit just not worth getting excited over, you know?
So when I was working up north Alabama, I'd come in after 12, 14-hour days and, 1 hour commute each way. And
Yeah.
like I was wore out and stressed. And like, you ever waterboarded your kids? This is where like Child Protective Services is listening.
I've got a great story about that. And it's just, I don't even want to say harsh parenting, but I got Jaden through something else too. He used to be terrified of water.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, dude, you couldn't give him a shower. Now, you can call me a piece of shit. You can call me whatever you want. But this worked. And tough love is still love. Months and months, if not years, of the same deal every night at bath time is if water touched his face, whether it be in the shower, bath, pool, mud puddle, what have you, he would go into this epileptic-like state where he was
freaking out,
gasping for breath. He would just stop.
Just
Fish out of water.
Out.
I'm not exaggerating. He caught me on the right day and at the right time, and we have a spray wand in my shower, and I just held it on his head.
Like, you're gonna get through this.
And I just kept holding it there, and I just kind of let him fight his way through it, and I tried to talk him through it, and I was like, you can still breathe, And then when I remember when he took his first, he was like, and then he was just, it clicked on him, but he was so embarrassed at the time that it didn't really set in. But that was the time that Jaden Hart quit being scared of water. I just kind of was like,
you made it happen.
I was like, just breathe.
See, I did mine out of anger. You know how like some kids, like they want this cup and that cup. They don't want this. They don't want that. It's got to, and it's like, I want the red cup and this, and you get the red cup and put water in it. And it's like, that's not what I want.
Uh-huh.
Man, I'm at the refrigerator door putting water in the cup, and then he cries and just like, that's not what I wanted. You know what my ass did? I just poured it on his head. And I was so pissed. Like, it's my first kid. He's a little over a year old. And I'm just, I couldn't handle, like, I was so overwhelmed with work. And this is the shame on me moment, right? Like I've got so much pressure and frustration with work that I can't give my family the good side of me.
Yeah.
Right? Like I gave everything that was good in me.
Yeah, that's a shitty feeling
to people who don't really
relate.
Matter to me in life. Yeah. That I can't even tell you who's half their names are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know their first names, I see their face. I don't even know their last name. I don't know how many kids they have, what their life is. Yeah. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
They get the best side of me.
Yeah, and you're thinking about them whenever you're supposed to be fixing your kid a cup of water or something.
Well, I'm overwhelmed.
You're frustrated from them.
My gas tank's empty and my fuse is short, and he set it off. And it's like, I feel like shit. Like, here this innocent little kid is just, he doesn't understand his own emotions.
Yeah.
And I just fucking waterboarded him. I didn't really waterboard him.
That's a strong example.
That's a different, but I poured water on his head.
What was the reaction to that? I'm curious.
He cried. Ashley got pissed at me, and I walked away feeling like a piece of shit.
Yeah. As we do.
We're big, like, what would you do if somebody fucking threw water in your kid's face in a restaurant?
Mm.
You know what I mean? This is what I start thinking. It's like, if you didn't know me, and I walked up to your kid because he was screaming, and I fucking just went, you would fucking be livid.
Yeah, no, it would. Yeah.
So
some shit would probably happen.
So when your spouse does it, why is it okay?
Yeah, no, it don't make it okay.
It's still your kid.
Yeah, and like my dad, dude, like I think even to this day, it's probably still a problem. But I remember being young, like a baby be crying in a restaurant. They're fucking on the other side of the restaurant, and he would just get fucking plumb pissed off about it. And at the time, I was like, yeah, whatever. Now that I'm older, I'm like, that's the fucking kid's only way of communicating. Mm-hmm. Like, all they know is to cry.
Like sometimes you don't get a break. Like, you can't, sometimes you don't have babysitters. Hey, we're going to go out tonight because I don't feel like cooking. I've got to put up with the kid. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but, we've got, I've learned to really respect, not to say respect, I've learned to cope with the noises of kids out in public more than I used to.
Mm.
Now, when I go to a fine dining restaurant or somewhere, I'm going to drop $150 for dinner. That's different. You ain't got a babysitter, cancel your reservations. But like at McDonald's or like a little normal restaurant, it's gonna happen.
A given, man. It's it's a family establishment. Now, if you taking your 2-year-old to $150 a plate meal,
Yeah.
are they gonna eat that $150? I mean, let's be real. Or are you getting another plate so you can share yours?
You're not gonna enjoy it the same.
No, there's a time and a place for
Yep.
that.
But so yeah, I've learned to really calm down.
Yeah.
I think.
What's your shining moment? You got one of those lately?
I don't know. I try not to put myself on that pedestal.
Yeah, me either, because I fuck up a lot.
You know, as a dad, you know, it's like I would say that I shine. It's like, you know, I show up to the Christmas party at school. You know, I'm that dad.
Well, fuck that, dude. Those suck. And
everybody,
you know what I mean?
all
It's
the,
like
all
your
the
kid
parents,
wants you to be there, and then they make you feel bad because you're not. But
and you're all standing around this little tiny ass classroom looking at each other. Nobody
gives a shit.
Nobody talks to one another. But you know what? Your kids, you're there for your kid, right?
I'm not personally. is I've been to a couple of them, but no, I don't make it a big effort to go. But like sporting events, I'll tell you a high and a low for me. I don't have a shining moment either, but like a couple weekends ago during the tournament or whatever, Jaden plays catcher. He dropped the ball. He was fumbling for it, whatever. He lost, whatever the case is. And in the moment I thought I was cheering him on. Was in my mind. But he took it as like criticism, and he got really frustrated with me. And like he yelled out something. I can't even remember what it was, but he's pissed off. Whatever. We talked about it later. Don't talk to me like that in front. Don't talk to me like that ever, much less in front of people. I was like, next time when your ass is coming home, like I will walk out on the field and undress you myself, and we will leave. But that outside the point is that made me feel low. Is because like, damn, how much pressure do I put on this boy?
A lot.
To when he fucks up a little bit, he's just fucking mad. Now, on the flip side of that it's kind of a good thing, because when you fuck up, I do want you to beat yourself up about things, because it's
you should feel frustrated. Like if you mess up and let your team down, there should be some like you know, hey, I should have some mental.
And
hey guys,
it carries on outside of sports.
What's called ownership?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, man, I fucked up. I should have. You know what I mean? Next time that motherfucker comes, which leads me to my high. You know, that was the low. I felt bad because I'm like, you know, do I pressure him too much? Is this and that? And do I hold him on a pedestal that he can't reach? And all those thoughts. Fast forward to last weekend, which you got to witness a little bit of. Fucking stroking it, son. I mean, hosed his first runner out at second. Caught 2 foul balls at home plate. Dude, just
not easy to catch either. Like he went after it.
Dude, I mean, just like daylight dark difference. So that was like my high moment, dude. We were cheering them on. We went out for Ashley's birthday. We made it back for the championship game. He got his first tournament ring. I met him at the dugout because we were just like a little bit late into the first inning and stuff. And he was pumped up to see me there. And I was like, fucking, hey, boy, let's go. And dude, he just fucking did great all day, which makes me feel better about my low. Because, hey, you was hard on yourself last weekend. You came out this weekend and fucking dominated, in my opinion.
You know, because like I'm a hypocrite.
Constructive.
See, I'm a hypocrite in some ways.
Because I'm a hypocrite on a lot of shit.
When I say that, I mean like in sporting events. Like I'm over here saying like we're too loud. We say too much. Yeah. We talk about things that like they're like 8-year-olds trying to like we're screaming at them like they're like pro baseball players, right? Yeah. Like there's a scholarship on the line. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like here we are, like, you know, just constantly just rattling them, you know. And if you ever watch Coach Ball Game, I love listening to some of those videos. But he's like, you know, he makes fun of the parents. It's like elbow up, do this, do that, yeah. You know. And it's just like, just shut up and let them play. Yeah. But then I go to a sporting event with my kids playing. I'm just like, attaboy, yeah. You know, it's, you know,
I've got to make it a mental note to be more I don't know. I think I do a lot of coaching, but it's just, I think it's just, I've just hammered it into him so hard to, you know, I've said it before, strive for perfection and understand you'll never be perfect. It's just, but he strives for perfection. He just doesn't understand that he'll never be perfect yet. And that should come with time. So I'm going to still stand I'm going to die on the hill that I built.
I think a lot of it's like, how does it's the composure that they can have with you in the stands. Like that's what I want to say is, how can and I'm not. There's no right way to parent. I'm gonna be very clear with that. I'm not saying anybody's a good or bad parent. I'm not going to call anybody out for things, but I am going to say, I've coached for many years.
And you can quote me on this too, is there's no one right way, but there's a million fucking wrong ways to do it.
We do a lot of those wrong ways to learn, but one thing as a coach that I've learned watching these kids is there's a lot of pressure. And I see it when I look at my kids.
Yeah, especially in our community, man. We are a very sports affiliated community.
Pay attention, when you watch a game, I want you to pay attention. And it's little things like when the pressure is on, where do they look?
Yeah.
There's kids that I see.
They're doing that number.
When they throw a ball, they look at their dad. Yeah. When they swing a bat, they look at their dad.
Yeah. Is he smiling? Is he frowning? Is he shaking his head?
So not only do you got to worry about hitting this ball that's about to be thrown at you, you got to worry about what your dad's about to say and what he will say, what he has said, and what he's going to say on the car ride home. It's like we as parents can easily overwhelm these kids.
For sure.
And so it's like, there's a story that was really like inspirational to the way that I processed how to react and how the kids are, where like the game's on the line, like the state, like going into it, like we win this game, we go to a state championship, right? Like it's pressure, right? And in the one of the best kids up to bat, he's up in front of you, and you're like, man, how are you so calm? Like why are you just like, how are you not nervous right now? And he's just like, man, I enjoy this game. And
it's fun.
And
fuck what happens.
And then you look at the aspect of his dad's out in like the outfield fence, just sitting there, not saying a word, just enjoying watching him do what he loves to do.
Yeah.
Then you got the kid that's behind him asking those questions, who's like nervous. They're afraid to fail their parent.
Yeah.
They're afraid to let dad, I let you down. I struck out tonight, dad, I let you down. Yeah. But the guy that's in front of him that's all calm, he's like, man, I get up to bat. Like, no matter what happens, my dad will give me a hug. And he says, I mean, I love you. I'm so proud to be able to see you out there trying today.
Yeah.
Now, again, trying. Like, you get out there and don't show some effort.
That's the only thing, that's my only getter. But like, if I see you jogging home, what the fuck were you doing?
But, go out there and give it your all and roll with it.
All of it. And if you give it your all, man, you're never going to get nothing bad out of me. That's all I ask for, dude. If you don't leave tired, especially, well, not necessarily baseball because there's a lot of breaks, but especially like basketball and football, if you're not at least a little jelly leg, did you run hard? You know what I mean? If you're not at least a little sweaty, did you try hard? What'd you regret? Because what you'll regret is not giving your best. That's what's going to eat you up.
That's kind of the thing you want to like. You want to press, like, just like I was telling my boy earlier today. It's like, dude, you don't ever want to look back. Yeah. You don't ever want to look back and be like, man, I wish I would have took that chance.
Yeah,
I wish I would have done that. Right? Yeah. Like, that's the only time you're going to be upset with your life is when you say, I didn't take it. I didn't go for it. No. Hey, that girl, it was one of those like the they're in that stage with like the girls, and he says he likes this girl, and it's like,
God, it's about to get so much fucking worse, dude.
But it's like, you know what? Don't get upset about it. Don't be ashamed about that. Hey, if you do, you do. Roll with it, dude.
Closed mouth don't get fed.
Nope. So just say, hey, you're pretty cool. I like you too. Yeah. Guess what? Now you've got a new friend.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They're about to be so fucking confused. I'm not quite sure I can help them through it.
So, just, we can go deep on that one, but I'll move on. Like, we start looking at like the comparisons, right?
Yeah.
How we, like, would you say that, is there anything that, or anybody online, or like, do you get that comparison mindset?
It's like I was saying earlier, and all these people make their videos and they do this and that, and it's no different than like the women and well, she looks this way, so I should too. Fuck all that. They spent or paid somebody to clean their house, this one room in particular. The rest of their house might be fucking trashed, but they paid the backdrop for that. They took time to clean the backdrop of that video, and I'm going to put all these grapes, purple grapes, white grapes,
you know, this and this and this all in this little organizer. What did Kendall buy? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, we don't have a sponsorship. Fuck it. Anyway, it's like this. It's a tackle box. It's a snackle box. I think I swear to God.
Does it go in like a bog bag or something?
Doesn't matter.
And you know what? I've seen like the snack tray is like, I don't want a little kid eating out of my bag.
It's a fucking snack tray that's like a damn tackle box. Is what it is. And sure, it's
called a lunch box.
It's dude, you know. But look, so my wife felt inclined to buy that because she's seen something and she look how organized I can be in this and that.
Got my goldfish in this
we're
tray.
hypocritical too, though, because it's like, do we drag our big ass white ugly cooler that don't have wheels and stuff and is little, but it's cheap and honestly we got it for free, or do we drag our fucking $500 Yeti? Which one do? We take the Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, it's more convenient and with this and that, but it don't fit as much as the big bulky ass white one that was free.
Right.
So
which one serves the purpose? Where hey, like you know, it's you're
the
putting
Yeti
the bumper
is
sticker.
more ergonomic, but at the same time, it's still a Yeti. So you know,
see, listen, I want to be honest.
It's
like
a social thing. I
got me a Yeti.
It.
Now I used a military discount at Dick's and got a huge deal on mine. And like, okay,
got a Yeti?
I do.
Waste of fucking money.
It is.
Right?
It is.
I like the shitty coolers. Do you know about them? So like shitty was made because like Yeti ain't that great, and they like made a cooler exactly like them. They just call them shitties.
Well, and yes, everybody gets the window on their truck. Like they're, hey, look, I've got $100 cooler. Come steal it from my truck.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it really held the ice as long as what
it don't.
Some of these other ones that you can get Ozark Trail at Walmart would do.
I was fixing to say there's igloos that's fucking holding ice just as long as that Yetis. That's $500. I wish I could get that.
It is, and it's a lot of it's like almost like a social. Like you've got to be seen with this.
So I can't say that I'm not falling into that trap somewhat.
It's
but I
hard
still show up in my fucking Crocs and my holy ass shorts, pulling my $500 Yeti. So
it's you know
I don't like it, man. I don't like it. It's everybody cares about somebody else's opinion way too much.
You know, and sometimes it's like I feel like I get overjudged, if that makes sense. Like
you definitely do.
You know, and it's like, do I have a lot? Yeah, I do. But, you know,
but you got it honest.
Yeah. I've not stolen from
to
get where I'm at. You know, I've earned everything I've got, but I know what it's like. Like I go out and I talk to people. It's like, I know what it's like to work on the line.
Yeah.
You know, I had a comment made recently to me. It's like, you guys in the office, you know, and it's like, dude.
Yeah.
Like I've earned my chair at the office.
Yeah.
And it's not that saying that the earning, you don't work your way to an office chair.
How many times you walk in there and ask for Saturday work?
So
not necessarily your particular place, but in the past, how many times you walk in there at 40 and say, "Hey, I need the next one. I need another shift. I need this or that."
I don't, because I don't need like.
Well, not now, but how many times did you do that?
Growing, I would work as much as I could. I worked 3 jobs. When I was 16 to 18, 19, 21, even when I was in the Marines, I worked 2 jobs. Yeah. Was it because I needed more money? No. It's just that I wanted it. Like I wanted to make that money. Like I wanted to go out and do certain things. So I had to work
mad
for
at you, man. So. And then on the other flip side, who gives a fuck what they think? It's like this podcast. I guarantee you there's people we know that has watched this.
We get judged left and right. I can't believe they do that.
I do not give a half a fuck.
You know, I read a book recently called
about anything.
The book was The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, man, like, why would you not want to? And after I started listening to it, it's like, that's not really what it's about.
I haven't read the book yet. It's in the queue.
But a lot of it, there's little things that talk about like, it's not really not giving a fuck about life. It's about learning to give a fuck about what really matters.
Yeah.
Sure. Like what really matters in your life. Like who cares what the neighbor thinks of me?
What food, shelter, and water.
Yeah.
Food,
but
shelter,
what really matters? It matters what my kid thinks about me. It matters what my wife thinks. It matters what I think about me.
Sure.
Right? When you start changing your perspective, that's really what it's about. It's saying, if you enjoy playing bingo, go play bingo. Yeah. If you like to go to watch people dance in the theater and do ballerina, go watch it. Who cares if anybody calls you, Yeah, it's a sissy thing. You
Dude,
know.
man, I have slept with people. I have slept over at houses, I should say.
Yeah.
But
Your wife
like,
listens to this, so
yeah.
remember that.
No, that's not where I was going. So, like, growing up, it's like, man, I had buddies that had roaches at their place.
Mm-hmm.
I slept there the same way that I did with
Yeah.
buddies with houses bigger than this.
You know, macaroni and cheese out in a Kraft macaroni, like the cheap box for
I
33 cents was our
remember
dinner.
spending a night with a couple of friends where it was a sin to fucking eat out of the fridge unless it was fucking approved. And I remember smuggling fucking Pop-Tarts and shit at 2 o'clock in the morning because we were starving. You know, everybody comes from all walks of life. And my granddad has a saying that I think I hope I remember for the rest of my life. It's everybody's weird except for me and you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I wonder about you. Dude, people's fucking weird.
So back when the PlayStation had first come out, and I think it was the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
I'm over at this buddy's house. We're playing a video game. Well, we'd go rent. At this time and age, like, I don't know if you've ever experienced renting video games.
Blockbuster, yeah. Fucking Blockbuster and Movie Gallery.
Yep. So we'd go rent video games to go play them, right? And so we'd go rent a game and go over to his house, and I'd go stay at his house all weekend. And like his parents would stay gone a lot.
Yeah.
And he had one of those, like, in today's market price, it'd be like a $5 sirloin, like the big, you know, like we buy that for the kids to eat on tonight, right? And it's like that's what their dinner was supposed to be for.
Yeah.
And me and him were hungry. Well, I go turn the broiler on the oven on, and I stick it in the oven. I make a steak in the oven.
Yeah.
His parents come home. We had lunch.
The fuck did you do?
Hey, you hear the refrigerator door close. And you're like, who the fuck ate the steak?
That's the first thing. Dude, one of the worst ass chewings I ever got was by a childhood friend of mine's mom. And we finished off the tea. We was outside fucking playing basketball, come in thirsty, and there's enough tea in the gallon for 2 cups.
Wasn't tea better back then?
It was a fucking joy, is what it was, man. My grandmother made some tea that you could stand a horseshoe up in, dude. That shit was like syrup. And to this day, you know, Kendall's like, it was too sweet. And I'm over here just fucking guzzling it down. I'm like, oh my God.
So, like, you know, my mom made her tea, and my neighbor, his mom and sisters would make tea. And I'd go there and play in the summertime. We walked to each other's house.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was talking to her the other day. She'd passed away. God bless her soul. On my birthday, we had her funeral. So I went to her funeral. And, you know, and it's funny. I was thinking about that. It's like I remember coming over there and, like, the tea. Like, I remember it just tasted
good as fuck.
I liked it. You know, we'd go outside and we'd play.
What else changed? Fucking grilled cheeses.
Yeah.
My grandmother made me, God, I ain't had a grilled cheese the same since. Bullshit. No, man. I don't know. It tastes different. All of it does.
So, do you have any dad envies where like you look out at like some other guys and
envies?
Like, yeah.
Fuck yeah. Those motherfuckers that sex butterflies for $8 million a year. or whatever the hell they do. Yeah, I envy that guy. But no, dude, I don't know, man. There's something that comes with what I want and what I know will happen if I had it. I don't know. It's like on the little hill I live on, man. That's humble living.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I work. We live check to check. Don't got shit left over after bills. We scraping by sometimes. Sometimes we get to go out and eat and whatnot. And I mean, now I'm not saying that we're just hurting and on the struggle bus, but that right there builds good men.
Yeah, the tough times.
Yeah, it does. It builds good men. Hey, Daddy had the hard scrabble life, this and that, and then I know what it's like to do this, so I appreciate it. On the flip side, now what I want is a fat ass yard. I don't want a big house, but I'd love to have a shop. You know what I mean? I just
want
little
things.
Yeah, the little things that would just really make me happy in life.
But see, here's I'm gonna throw a perspective to you.
Go ahead.
Like that book I was reading, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, right?
That's probably a key part in it.
There is. It talks about you set your goals. What happens when you get them? You want to talk about
set new ones,
but you know, and think about it. Like, I want the truck, I want the house, I want the shop.
I got the truck. I just ain't got the house.
But you know what I mean? Like when you get it, it's like, then what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those are some fucked up goals that we have as a culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our goals is I can't wait to have this house.
Yeah.
I want a 3,000-4,000 square foot house. I want a big ass yard.
Yeah, and that's the gist of it. But like realistically though, it's like instead of buying last year's bat at 80 for dicks, I'd like to buy in this year's bat just because I fucking can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, it's not that it's gonna make you play better. I mean, if you suck, you suck.
Makes you
If
feel
you're good-
better. It makes you feel more.
You want that catcher? You want that sliding glove or whatever? All right, earn it. All right, yeah, I can swing it. Instead of okay, well, he's kind of earning it. I still can't swing it.
You know, like people joke about like there's some of the kids that walk out there. They've got the bling, the glasses, the necklaces, the mitts for each hand, the elbow protector.
And I ain't hating on the kids, and I ain't hating on the parents. And if they can do it, that's great. But it's like,
but and then I have to put it in perspective. It's like some parents have more now than they ever had in their life.
yeah,
And when their kids are up there, they're trying to protect their kid from having that feeling that they had of not having any of it, right?
Yeah.
Like they were probably you see it a lot.
And let me elaborate. I did not go without as a child.
Right. I didn't have as much, but I did. I never
didn't
went
go
hungry. I never went hungry.
I mean, I had fucking
No.
PlayStations and this and that now.
When my mom would take me to go shoe shopping, she'd get me the LA pumps where you can like pump up the little basketball and it'd air them up.
Jump 6 inches higher.
Right. My dad,
Yeah.
when he took me shopping, that motherfucker he'd buy me the 50-cent shoe out of the basket in the back because he was just a cheap one.
No, just more really. I would like to think that if I was a millionaire, I'd still make them struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
I like to think that. But I wouldn't necessarily be worried about it. You know what I mean? I'm just doing it to build character at that point.
Here's an interesting story. So Lucas, we go and I'm like, hey, you can pick any shoe out you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm honest with him. Like you can get whatever shoe you want within reason. Okay.
Yeah, sure. You're not gonna buy him a $600 pair of Jordans or something.
So
like fucking retros.
So he finds this shoe. Yeah. It's in the $45 price, typical price for a shoe.
Sure.
We buy 2 pair a year, pretty much. So he wears them out,
which is bullshit because I got 1 fucking pair a year.
So he goes and he buys this black pair of Nikes.
All right.
It's all black, and they look weird. But when I started thinking about it, you know what really bugs me about that pair of shoes? When I was telling you about those 50-cent pair of shoes my dad bought me,
they look the same as
they were all black.
Yeah.
The plainest, like I'm going to school, and and it's in the 90s, early 2000s. I'm not sure which
30
decade
years
it hit
of
in.
inflation hit hard, huh?
Right, but I don't. It's between the end of the 90s, early 2000s. I think it's end of 90s, and I was really self-conscious of those cheap shoes. Everybody around me is wearing Birkenstocks and Timberland boots. Like that was the thing at the time. Girls were wearing polo shirts.
Clark's was mine. I had a pair off. I can't remember what they were called. They were off.
There's always an off brand that look identical to it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so like I associated him going and buying that all black pair of shoes. That just looks like dude, like that scarred me in a way, and that's how much different. Like I could never imagine. Like I don't know. See, I buy more for my kid than to make him not feel like I had to feel.
You ever think you're fucking up doing that though?
Definitely. There's no appreciation or respect. I say that he takes care of his stuff.
That's good.
You know, like you know what I mean. Like he appreciates what he has,
and you gotta have light. In order to have light, now you gotta have dark.
Yeah.
In order to have good, you gotta have bad. So it's like, not saying nothing about Lucas, but it's like, hey man, if you've always had everything you've ever dreamt of and ever could want, what does it mean to you?
Well, there's no drive to need or want. Like I had a need, so I had a drive to get.
Jaden with steak. Let me tell you that. It's like tonight we had surf and turf. We had a slab of salmon and we had steak. What did Jaden fill up on?
On the fish, man.
On the fish. He can't fucking. I don't know why that boy's got a vendetta against steak.
He don't like steak. Lucas has got to where he doesn't like steak. Maybe it's because we eat it too much. I don't know.
Maybe. So
Lucas loves some fish right now.
Backtrack to Knox has like 7 teeth in his head. I mean, I'm talking about just little bitty. And he's over there hammering on this steak. I mean, fucking gnawing on it, using all 7 of them. And Jade and Knox has done a good portion of a cut of meat.
Right.
Jaden is sitting at the table, and I'm noticing that like his plate is just not going anywhere. And I'm like, "What's up, dude?" He's like, "It's hard to chew." I'm like, "Your fucking brother's got 7 teeth in his head, son." And, but I say that to say this is he has never went a night with an empty belly.
Right.
That steak tastes a hell of a lot better if you was hungry.
It would.
You know what I mean? If you was on night number 2 and you ain't had nothing yet, boy, I bet you wouldn't bitch about that steak not 1 second. You'd be so happy to have it. It's like my dog when I started feeding him cheap food back when he was living. That fucker went 2 days and didn't touch it. I come home from work on day 3 and it was gone. And and then I fill it up again. Now he's happy to have it. He's like, okay, yeah, no, I get it. As I eat this or I don't eat.
Yeah, that's what I get to eat.
You got to have that. And it goes back to us being animals, man. You got to know what it's like to not have it in order to appreciate when you do have it. So, I don't know. I think spoiling them too much, I think it's a detriment.
Tough, man. I've gave my kid more than probably what I should. Or he like I said, he respects his stuff,
which is a blessing.
But he doesn't respect
what it takes to get it.
It's like it's expected. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm your kid. You can afford it. I expect it.
And the little shit's smart enough to know what the fuck you can afford. That's what's fucking you up right there.
We've got some money put aside for him. Yeah. And his grandparents do too. And he's going to be okay. He's going to be well off. And it scares me because he doesn't have that drive to need to go whatever. But he's like, "Hey, Dad, I want a phone." I said, "I don't think so."
Set it up till he can't get it till he's like fucking 25. Well, yeah, or
it's like 30. That, but it's like he wants a phone. Okay, well, we're toying the idea of the phone. Is there a need for it?
Nope,
not really. We're not literally leaving him at home. But when you go on a car trip or something, it's like it's like okay. Maybe I could. Hey, can I have your hotspot, Dad? I'm like, no, it drains my battery, dude. But it would be nice to be able to let him have it, and it doesn't cost anything. That's the key, because I can add that phone line. It doesn't cost anything. It's like okay,
it's the principle of it.
There's a principle.
The finances of it.
The reason I think the biggest reason he doesn't have it is the principle of just because I can give it to you don't mean I can. So he's like, I have enough money. I got hundreds of dollars over here. Going on a it's like what, dude. Just
you want to know what scares me with the phone thing is what happens when you're 12 years old and you're a sex offender for the rest of your life because some dumbass little bitch done sent you pictures of her fucking 12-year-old titties or what, you know what I mean? I'm serious. It happens all the time. The bullying. You gonna be that stupid? Yeah, until I know you're not that stupid.
No, I'm not trying to argue on your point, but they have apps right now that they can use that already without a phone.
I know, dude, God. But you know what, man?
all the phone will do is give them access to internet in areas that we don't typically have it.
Yeah, which is already proved to be a problem.
Yeah.
With just the tablets, man.
Our kids are going to have a generational issue of things that we've never even imagined.
It's bad. I kind of transitioned into, I don't know. I'm still claiming I was... Due to our poverty level growing up, I can relate to my older generations and whatnot. But I don't know, dude, there's a lot of trouble that comes with that. There's a lot of trouble that comes with it. It's too much freedom for that age. You don't know how to control it.
On topic here, it's like there's kids that are in his class that have phones. So it's like, that he's feeling that pressure of,
I didn't get my first phone until I was like 13 or something.
Well, see, they didn't really come out until I was in my teens, late teens.
They didn't really come out good until, we were flip phoning it whenever my first phone was a flip phone, didn't even have a camera.
You realize that's still new generation technology compared to what I started with, right?
Sure, yeah.
I started with phones.
You lived through the fucking pager.
Right after, right in the pager, I had the Nokia 6145 or something like that.
Playing Snake like it ain't nobody's business. I played Snake
It's before text messaging really become text.
Yep. When you had to push the fucking 9 button or no?
It was cheaper to call a 900 number and talk to a hooker than it was to send a text message to your mom.
I just,
But
you
for
know,
some-
you got charged like what 10 cents per text or something at one point, and then
And
you
you're
had
like-
a T9 and everything.
and you're like, hey,
No, I can remember sitting in class with my flip phone open in my hoodie, and I done had the buttons like, you know,
So,
muscle memory.
I was on a deployment and I ordered the Verizon. Came out with the Razor, Motorola Razor.
That was the fucking.
That was a hot phone.
That was the bee's knees back then. Yeah.
And so I ordered that Razor and it showed up. I'm on a deployment. I got it. And I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. It has a camera. Whenever you get pissed, you can flip
Where were
it
you
close.
deployed at?
I was out in Arizona at the time.
Oh shit! I was gonna say if you was over in the Middle East, you could have got you one a hell of a lot cheaper.
No. I was getting ready for a deployment to go out. There was a lot of training that goes on out in Arizona. So the unit I was with, we went out there to train to get ready for an overseas deployment, and we had, that's when I was able to get it. So like there was like a weekend I went to the mall, and I got me some Abercrombie and Finch, and I'm like, I'm a skinny fucker at this point in time, so I'm like, I'm using the phone to take a picture, like do a selfie, right?
Yeah.
Like I've got,
and then you would have the fucking angle wrong, and you'd be like, fuck, delete, and then do it 5 times. Yeah.
But yeah, and then I found the memory card that I downloaded some of those pictures from. I'll have to show them to you.
Yeah.
Some classics in there.
Vintage.
Yep, they're so pixelated. So
I bet.
there was more clarity in a 1960s picture than there was the picture coming off that Razor, but we thought that Razor was awesome.
Here's a little creep. I ain't gonna share that story. No, I ain't going to. I was young.
Save that one for another one.
Yeah, maybe. Probably not.
But dude, it's funny though. It's like, like have you ever had pen pal? Like you ever wrote a letter to somebody?
Oh yeah, no, we did it for like a school project.
Did I ever share the story about this girl that I wrote letters to?
Mm-mm.
So her name was like Margarita or something I forgot what it was, but it was my buddy's, one of my best friend's cousin. And we talked to her on the phone. He's like, hey, I want you to talk to my cousin. So I called her and I was like, hey, what's up? I'm Cody. What's up, girl? And I'm over here like, write his AOL Messenger stuff. We're chatting and stuff, but it's like, yeah, what's up? Like, I'll send you some pictures. Well, like I gave her my mailing address.
Yeah.
And she mailed me pictures. And like we've talked on the phone. She's, we're like
your mama or daddy
16
think about that?
We're like between 16 and 18, and like we're like
all hormones, yeah.
Phone sex. It's like we're picturing each other. Like she had a sexy ass voice, dude. Like she sounded.
And she was about 450.
Amazing. I got her pictures.
She's about 450.
She's like, hey, she called me. She's like, hey, did you get my pictures?
About tree fitty. Yeah.
You know what? I never answered the phone. I feel so shitty, dude.
No.
It's like she sounded so hot. And then I got the picture and I was like, what the fuck? Man.
Dodged a bullet.
I did. I did. Luckily, I was almost catfished because my buddy was talking her up.
And that's funny.
And he's
too.
fucking laughing about it now.
That's
He was so like, he's like, dude, I'm gonna hook these two up. Yeah. And he's like, dude, she's so fucking hot, dude. She's like this, and this. I get a picture and I was like, dude, she don't look like that.
And you know what? It's like our boys, something similar is gonna happen, except they're gonna get on their fucking cell phone and they're gonna find their Facebook and be like, oh no, man, fuck you. I ain't talking to her.
What smell is that? Or what flavor do you got over there?
I don't know.
I don't like it. It smells weird.
White peach raspberry. It's super gay.
It's the raspberry. I'm like, dude, your raspberry smells like snazberry over here. I
It's
don't like it.
super gay. If that's what
you're
you're
gonna
asking.
have to quit blowing it on me.
It's pink and it's gay as fuck. and
you like put it. You like put it in your mouth.
Yeah. I do that, man. It's I don't know. I'm not proud of it.
Nope. Man, got a question for you.
Hit me.
Would you rather have unlimited babysitting, free babysitting for life, or never have to sleep again?
Never have to sleep again. I can double my income. I pick up a night shift job.
Let them sleep, and you work.
I know a guy. He only sleeps like 3 or 4 hours a day, and he is a very wealthy man. Would you rather Have nope, that's the one you. Let's see here. Would you rather fight? Would you rather fight a chicken every time you get in your car,
I slipped some new ones in here.
or fight or orangutan once a year, but you get a sword? That's easy.
I may go for the orangutan, man. Just
You're fucking up.
I got a sword though.
You're gonna need it. You better hope you got a gun. Orangutans are strong as shit, dude.
I fight my kids in the car enough.
Do you not remember the Mansers that come on Spike TV back in the day? Mm-mm. They did a tug of war. It was like 4 men versus an orangutan, and the orangutan won
I bet
effortlessly.
So. Strong.
Think about it, dude. Think about it.
You know,
chickens ain't
here's
shit.
what's funny when I talk about fighting a chicken. Have you been seeing this shit going on with the kids watching Minecraft? We went and watched Minecraft last weekend.
Okay, no.
But like, there's a TikTok trend going on where they like turn their phones and record this scene where the little baby zombie falls down on the chicken in the ring.
Okay.
And they do like the chicken fight. So, but
our kids are trying to cockfight now. We got game chickens in the
Yeah.
backyard next. All right, I'm gonna give you another one. Would you rather only be able to whisper everything you say, or shout everything you say?
I'm gonna go whisper. Let me tell you why. Because when she comes up close, I'll be like, "What's up, girl?"
No, my wife could. My wife could.
Can
use
you
a
imagine
whisper.
your wife if I went up and started whispering in her ear? She'd be like, "Cody, get the fuck off of me!"
Probably.
Yep.
Probably. All
See,
right.
would you rather have to wear rollerblades everywhere you go, or never be able to wear shoes again?
Never be able to wear shoes again. I can't roller skate for shit.
You don't want to. You don't want to roller skate, man.
I can't. No, it's
You've
not.
never
that I don't want-
rollerbladed.
I can't.
You got to try 'em.
I can't.
Didn't you put some skates on in the
Nope.
skating ring? No, I didn't see you
Because
skate.
no, you didn't. You know why? Because I know that
So-
I can't do it.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna wrap it up with this one. Would you rather accidentally send a spicy text to your boss, or call your kid's teacher babe in a
Boss.
serious meeting?
It's just a little bit of shit that I'll catch at work. It's no biggie.
He'd be like, "Chris,
Yeah.
I know you asked for a raise, but you ain't got to earn it this way."
Yeah, no, I just catch a little bit of shit, but no, I don't get involved in school stuff.
Man, it's been enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Stay classy.